Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena and another Florida Everblades pregame show playoff edition. I'm Hannah Jo Groves alongside Jake Maurice. Jake, the Blades swept round one against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. What were the overall factors that led to such a dominant series from the Blades?
Strong defense, great goaltending, and always playing with the lead. Florida did not trail for a single second of that opening round series, only allowed 4 goals against through 4 games. You're going to win a lot of hockey games if you're playing like that. You can see whenever the Everblades got up by multiple goals, it really seemed like that was it. They're safe, they're good. Savannah, they certainly pushed Florida in spots, but they didn't really seem to have a lot of belief in themselves when they got down in games, and a big part of that is because of how strong Florida is. Their reputation as a defensive powerhouse really got into Savannah's heads, and the Everblades used that to roll their way through 4 games and into the second round.
So Taryn Pfizer got a couple first goals. Carson Gasevich already has 4 goals in the postseason. Tell me what you liked about the chances he was generating and then capitalizing on.
Well, for Pfizer, you give him time and space, he's going to bury it, right?
Yeah.
Each of his goals, he finds some room, soft ice, doesn't get picked up, no one closes on him in time, and he's able to really lean into his shot. And yeah, 3 game opening goals, that's pretty good.
He's
big
a
part
sniper.
of why Florida won that series. And then Gasevich, you know, game 1 was quiet, but then games 2, 3, 4 was a big part of it. Net front, in the slot, he could score from anywhere, big body, had some big hits in that opening round too, right? He's basically a perfect playoff player. He lives for this time of year, and great to see him get off to a strong start in round 1 as well.
So as we think about going into tonight, this is something that you and I have talked about before, but these Blades are very used to this rhythm now. Friday, Saturday at home after a couple of days, not of rest because they're still skating, they're still working out, training, but they're still getting to be at home and having that recovery time. What role does that play as we head into round 2?
Well, it allows you to get into a little bit of a rhythm. It helps you stay just mentally more sound, right? You're going home every night. You get to spend time with your family. That's big, right? You don't often get that when you're the road team traveling a lot. So that's been a big factor for Florida. And then, yeah, even though you're still practicing and doing that, you're not taking big checks every night. You're not you're not blocking shots every night.
Yeah.
Right? That's a big difference between
Definitely.
practice and game hockey. So for Florida, that is where the rest will really pay dividends. Allows guys who are a little banged up, because it's the playoffs. Every team has guys that are a little banged up right now. Lets them get a bit more healthy and ready to go for when we get to game 1 tonight.
So now we're going into tonight against the South Carolina Stingrays, a team that we played pretty recently in the regular season. However, it's playoffs. Things are going to be different. What are the specific things that you're expecting from them?
Well, the biggest difference is that they got a lot of their AHL guys back down, and their roster, which we played in April, was not very healthy.
Yes.
Now they are. This is a way different Stingrays team. They handled an Atlanta Gladiators club that was very good in 6 games. They're coming in here very motivated. It's their first time out of the first round since 2021.
Okay.
So for a team that has had a lot of success historically, they are very motivated to, now that they've kind of broken out of a bad stretch of their team's history, to keep it going. And you look at the history between these two clubs. We've had 8 playoff meetings against them.
Right.
We've won 4.
Right.
They've won 4. And 7 of the 8 times, the team that wins this series, Florida, South Carolina, goes to the final.
Oh, gosh.
Not necessarily win it, but they go to the final. So this is very much, it is the ECHL's most historic rivalry. It is the biggest arch rivalry that we have. This is going to be a physical, nasty series. This is going to be very fun. Tons of talent everywhere on the ice. This is the kind of series, as just a fan, you hope for when you get to the playoffs.
I'm so glad you brought up this rivalry, because my next question for you is about discipline, something that was really big in the Savannah series as well. Actually, Kyle Betts said, hey, we're in the playoffs. If you can, take a punch and it leads to a penalty, might be worth it. Talk more about the role of discipline for maybe both teams coming into tonight.
Yeah, well, South Carolina's series against Atlanta was a little nastier, and South Carolina certainly has more sandpaper in their game than Savannah.
Okay.
What it's going to show up more so is physicality during the play.
Yeah.
These teams are going to be throwing heavy hits at each other, trying to hurt their opponent. Not injure them, dirty, but making
Tire
sure that
them
when you
out.
take a hit on the boards, you're feeling it the next day when you wake up.
Right.
Making sure that when you have a chance to throw a hit, you go for it. You don't just curl, skate away, and go after the puck. So that's going to be a big part of it. And then, in those scrums after the whistles, you got to stay smart. We've seen on South Carolina's side, one of their players, Ryan Hofer, already has been suspended for 1 game in this playoff run. So a guy like him certainly has to be smart. On the other side, Florida's physical guys, they can't allow themselves to get involved in that kind of stuff, because if you do, as Bet said, you could end up with a power play or give the other team a power play, and that can sway a game, sway a series, and all of a sudden that dramatically changes things.
All right, Jake, it's time for the direct effect marketing. 3 keys of the game. Game 1, round 2. How do they do it?
Well, we talked about physicality just now, and that is the first key, right? It's important that you stay smart with it, but stay strong in the puck. Don't let up. Throw everything you've got into your hits. Be on them. Don't give them a lot of room. On the other side, finding time and space is important for Florida. A lot of the Everblades' offensive success against Savannah came when they got room in the attacking zone. Not a ton of room. We're not talking about like 10 feet of white ice all around you, but even just 2 feet, a foot. You look at Yasevic's turnaround goal in Game 3. He finds just a little bit of room where he can turn and take the shot. If he doesn't get away from the defender, he's not getting anywhere near that quality of a chance. So you finding that little bit of room important. And then finally, this is for not just tonight's game, but for both teams in this series, who's going to get the next group of guys going? So both teams in the opening round had certain players, Pfizer and Yasevich we talked about for Florida. You look on South Carolina's side, Charlie Combs has 6 goals right now. Like, he's leading their offense. But both sides also had some guys who were a little bit quieter than was expected. Who can pick that up in the second round? Because you're not going to get, it would be great if you could, but you're not going to get Taryn Pfizer scoring the game-opening goal every night.
Every time, right.
Yasevich isn't going to score every single night. He's going to score, but not every night, right? So if those guys aren't getting it done, who's the guy that steps up? Is it a guy on Florida's side? For example, Logan Lambdin's playing his first game of the playoffs tonight. Does he step into the lineup and immediately start contributing? Because that's a big difference. If he doesn't, South Carolina makes a change, and a guy like Pinard, who was 4th in the league in scoring in the regular season but only has 1 point right now, if he gets going on the other side, that can sway the series. So whichever team can get the next wave of offense, the next group of guys to really push in this series, that's going to be a big part of that one, and it needs to start tonight.
What a great point that is, Jake. Well, we'll keep our eyes open for who those next guys are, and exciting to hear that Lambeau is back in the lineup tonight. So next up, we've got warm-ups, and then it is Game 1 of round 2, the South Carolina Stingrays versus your Florida Everblades. We'll see you there.